Welcome back everyone to another Coach Blaker video. Today we're going to be talking about mental health. Well, not really mental health, but keeping it in positive mental. How it impacts your games and why it's important to keep. And maybe some techniques on how to actually keep that health going or keep that positivity up. If you haven't already seen the video that I recently made called This Is Why You Don't Improve, I highly recommend watching it. It's about the type of mindset you want to be in to improve. It's very informative and I highly recommend anyone who is looking to get better or anyone who has tried to get better and hasn't been working, this could probably be why. Also, the end of the season is coming up pretty quickly. For those of you that are trying to reach your goals before the end of that season, make sure you book a session. I know a couple of y'all done already booked. I apologize that I can't upload them all. It's just based off if the student wants to be recorded. But doing my best to at least upload the ones that don't mind it. I offer 3 services on my site and a beta going on right now. I offer replay reviews, I offer live coaching, I also offer full-blown coaching sessions. These are more structured, these are more lesson focused. And then the final one, which is the beta, is dual queue coaching. I queue with you no matter what rank you are. What this allows me to do is support you in a way that you really can't do over sharing screens. The fact that I'm in the game with you, the fact that I'm able to move around with you, really show you the ropes, is a lot more impactful. CoachBlaker.com, make sure you book that session before the end of the season. It's gonna suck when you don't reach your goal and you're like, oh, I really wanted gold. Oh, I really wanted platinum before the end of the season. And the season hits and all you had to do was book a session and you would have been there like that. But that's what my goal's like. Anyway, CoachBlaker.com. So why is keeping a positive mindset important? Well, it's not really just important to League of Legends, it's important in your everyday life. If you think about it, if you woke up in pain because of your neck, I don't know, your neck hurts, maybe you thought about something yesterday that happened, whatever. You woke up and you're not really in a positive mood. You lack the motivation. And obviously there's studies that I'm not gonna go into that show that having a positive mental helps improve performance. Now, that being said, you might not be watching this to figure out how to have a positive mental. You might be here thinking about, well, how do I keep a positive mental? You know, you might be happy, cool, go lucky as soon as you click that Q button, but after that one game with that feed-in Ashe support who plays a support Ashe because they don't know how to play anything else and they don't climb because they play support Ashe. I'm sorry, I've had too many of them. You start to really lose your mental. So this video was an idea from one of the people that commented in my last video before that. You know who you are. Hey, how you doing? And also, I always get this question a lot when I'm streaming. Twitch.tv/CoachBlaker. When I'm streaming, a lot of people ask, how do you keep such a positive mental? Every time I see you playing, you're just happy, like it doesn't matter. Usually when you see people happy when they're playing League of Legends, those are the players that just don't really care. Those are the players that just play to play. But me being a coach, you guys knowing that I want to climb, a lot of you guys are like, how do you stay happy? How do you keep a positive mental with what's going on? Lose 1 game or 2 games to just stuff you can't control, how do you still keep that positive mental? A lot of the times, at least I've been coaching for going on 10 years and I've spoken to a lot of students. A lot of the times that people really start losing their mental is when they really, whether they subconsciously or consciously know this, but usually it's when they feel like their win is threatened because their teammates are doing things that they shouldn't do, because the enemy comp is OP, because your champ's weak, whatever your reasoning to be why you have poor mental. But a lot of the time, it's because they don't trust themselves to carry the game. They don't trust themselves to be able to win the game. Think about it this way. If you had to go get something fixed, and you had to get it fixed every single week, or else you can't do your job, right? Or you can't go to school, whatever it is, it prevents you from doing what you do. If that person is either late or not there, you can't do what you want to do, right? So if that person's usually late, you're gonna start getting into that mindset like, I really don't want to go. They're probably gonna be late. They're not gonna be there. If they're not there, I'm not gonna be able to do what I like to do. This is gonna be very, very hard on me. So you already start having that poor mental of like, oh, instead of just being like, he'll be there this time, on time, I know it. You're already thinking about the negative. Kind of work this into league terms. It's the same thing if you think about it, right? You're queuing into a game, you're expecting your roles on your team to perform properly. And so if they don't perform at that average level, subconsciously or consciously, you're starting to think like you're gonna cost my game. My last team was just as bad. Every time I queue, they just keep getting worse. Every time I queue, they seem to suck. And that's when you start having that poor mental. And there is a saying, there is a saying, and I don't know it word for word, but pretty much whatever you think about will come to fruition. If you're always happy, if you're always positive, if you have good karma, It's going to happen. If you're always negative about it, it's going to happen. So if you constantly queue with a poor mindset every single time you queue, you're going to get really poor teammates all the time. You're going to get really rough games. If you queue with a more positive outlook on the game, even if you do get those feeders, those ragers, those people that suck, those ash supports, you still have a silver lining in that dark cloud. Basically, it's not the end of the world. You can still make something happen. This is how you keep a positive mental. This is how high-level players continue to keep positive mental. You might see, like Tyler1, for example, you might see that, oh, he's so frustrated, he's so angry. But on the inside, when he's playing the game, on the inside, when he's actually performing, well, he's not thinking, oh, my teams always suck, dude, oh my gosh. He might put that on as a show, but he knows he can win the game for the team if he needs to. He doesn't think that his team is going to prevent him from winning. He might show it, like I said, on the outside, but he's the type of player to go into a game and make some stuff happen, even despite the odds. That's how you keep a good mental. By understanding it doesn't matter what they do, it doesn't matter what the next team does, it doesn't matter what the enemy team does. If you're confident in your own scheme, if you're confident to make things happen, if you're confident to know you're good enough to win these games, you start to have a more positive mental when you play the game. This is why when people get coaching, they seem to be happier. Now, I'm not selling it, but CoachBooker.com, I'm just saying, that's where you want to go. Because there's so many things to focus on as a student when a coach points it out, when a coach teaches you a new concept. You're already focusing so hard on that, you don't have time to focus on your teammates, which means you don't have time to have a poor mental because you're having a positive mental at the fact I'm getting better. Oh, I need to work on clearing as a jungler. Oh, my clears have been so good this game. Oh, it's been so good next game. I'm getting better. It feels so good. Even if you lose, it doesn't matter. You're not focused on losing. You're focused on improving that aspect that the coach was talking about. Same thing for like laners. Oh, man, my last hitting's so bad. I can never do anything in a fight. Well, if you focus on that last hitting and you start actually hitting high numbers, you will have a lot more items to play on. And then when those team fights do happen, you have a lot of damage to even deal with that 5-0 Renekton or whatever. This is how players keep positive mental. This is how you stop previous games from bleeding into your new game. Dang, that game sucks, whatever, but it's not one to ruin my climb. A lot of the times I'll see players get really upset at teammates. And it's like, this is one game, dude. You've been in gold for 500 games. How is this one game keeping you in gold? Like, quit flaming them. Quit talking mess about them. It's just like that, right? When you become to get into that mindset, there's probably not going to be much hope for you to get better or to climb. You have to switch that mindset in order to really start improving or in order to change that mental and be a lot more positive. So making sure that you have that positive mindset will not only allow you to be able to see that positive outlook on your games when things are going bad, but they will also help you focus on doing your job during the game to help best get a win out of that game. Said the people that tend to have those poor mentals, even if it's you, I'm calling you out right now, the people that tend to have those poor mentals are the players who are not making any progress. So the only thing they can think about is why they're not making any progress. And the only reason they're not making any progress is because of their teams, or is because of the picks, is because of ash supports. Those are the reasons you think about. But in reality, it's just because you're not playing well. Even when I'm on stream, I talk a lot about ash supports. I don't know if y'all notice, but I always say it's my fault in the long run. No matter what happens on my stream, and if I die, I'm never like, oh, these guys suck, even though I'm smurfing. Oh my gosh, these guys are so bad. It's always my fault somehow. Now, I'm not saying the best practice is to always say it's your fault, because a lot of the times it's not, let me be honest. But it's a best practice to know that you could have done something differently in that situation. So we're gonna recap here. The best way to keep a positive mental is to continue focusing on aspects that you need to improve your play in. That one game, those 2 games, when you're 500 games gold or 500 games platinum or whatever your rank may be, you got over 100 games, that one guy on your team isn't why you're there. If you played 3, 4, 5 games and then at that 5th game, you're just mind blown and you gotta stop playing, that happens, we're only human. But if you queue into that first game and your mental's already shot because you think, oh my gosh, they locked in Nautilus jungle, like either you dodge that game so it doesn't ruin your mental, or you accept that you're going to queue into that game, and really what can you do to work with it? Nautilus jungle, man, that jungler sucks. It does, Nautilus jungle just is horrible. But he provides a lot. He provides CC, he provides tankiness, and you can use that to your advantage. That's how you keep a positive mental. So I hope this helped you. Hope you guys understand where this is coming from. Again, if you guys haven't watched that other video, please do watch it. I think it's huge if you're really trying to improve. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day or night, and thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach.